In this First Berserker Khazan video, I'm going to be giving you guys 10 tips to help you get off to the best possible start. There are things I wish I would have known when I started playing this game. There are a lot of mechanics that kind of just get thrown at you. Some of these things you'll figure out eventually. Some of them you'll wish you'd known like 20 hours earlier. So that's what we're going to get into in this video. So the first thing is a tip about Soul Tear Dust and Soul Tear Stone Shards. There are other consumables that do the same thing, but these are the ones you'll find early on. These not only give you Lacrima, which can help you level up, like if you're 200 short, you can consume one to get enough Lacrima to level up, which is great, but they also heal you for health. So you can put these on your item bar and then use them like in a boss fight if you run out of Netherworld energy to top you up your health so that you don't die and you're able to complete the fight. And one great thing about the First Berserker Khazan is that when you die in a boss in this game, you leave your Lacrima outside the boss fight, so you won't lose that Lacrima that you gain from using them either. The next point is, while at any Blade Nexus, you can go to Khazan's memories and spend what are called Vengeance points to increase your stamina damage, and damage multiplier. These increase in cost as you put points into them, so you probably want to spread your points around early on to get most impact. But these can really help your performance in combat and improve it. And you gain these points from picking up notes and collectibles during each mission, which you kind of do naturally as you're exploring. So just don't forget to spend them periodically. Like, you might notice it once and then forget about it because you didn't have any vengeance points. Make sure you're checking this periodically and spending them after you complete missions. The next tip is that there's a hidden chest inside the Crevice that is located behind a fake wall that will provide you with a decent early game armor set called the Executioner set. It's an excellent all-around set which has good bonuses for any weapon, doesn't matter which weapon type you're using. So it's definitely worth getting. I think you have to complete a few missions before you can get to it, but as soon as you can get to it, absolutely pick it up. The next tip is about acquiring lanterns that you can get from Danjin in the Crevice once you've completed his bonus mission and he's moved there. These will help you tremendously in the game. There are 4 different lanterns you can get early on. There's the Coward's Lantern, which reveals Corruptors, which can kill you if you're not careful, as well as Undead Assassins, which are otherwise invisible. So this can help you like suss out some, dangerous situations. The Pathfinder's Lantern reveals hidden walls and it can guide you to them. Be sure you equip this when running around on most levels early on so you don't miss secrets. This is the one you'll use the most, so I recommend you getting it first. The Undead Hunter's Lantern prevents undead from reviving after you deplete their health bars. This is really good for some missions early on that are undead heavy, and it can be really nice because that's just a really annoying mechanic to have to deal with. But again, these are kind of expensive, so it's up to you whether you want that one or the Pathfinder's Lantern early on. The Grave Robber's Lantern helps you find loot and collect items that provide vengeance points. It's probably the least useful of the 4, but it's there if you need it. And make sure that when you buy a lantern that you put it into one of your item slots and turn it on while you're exploring, otherwise you won't gain the effect from it. And also note that there is a lantern that you'll get quickly in New Game Plus that does all 4 of these things combined, so you will no longer have to choose which one to use. The next tip is that many boss fights feature a specific status effect like Flame, Venom, Chaos, or Plague, and you need to watch for the attacks that build up these statuses on your resistance bar. Not all of their attacks do, but these attacks will build up your status bar even if you guard or brink guard them, so be sure to dodge sometimes to further prevent buildup when you're facing these attacks. If your bar fills completely, then you'll trigger that status, and you want to avoid that. So some gear features specific resistances, so it can make it harder for bosses to fill your bar, which prevents the status effect. And additionally, you can use resistance elixirs, which are consumables, or cleanse potions to cleanse the status effect. And if you need more of these, if you run out, you can actually go to the Blacksmith and craft them in exchange for transmutation shards and spirit orbs. The next tip is use Soulstones for health recovery rather than Lacrima gain when you speak to Defrona in the Crevice. Soulstones are these red glowing crystals you can find in Smash on each mission. As you find in Smash more of them, you can speak with Defrona in the Crevice and spend them. We have a separate video showing all their locations if you need help finding them, and you can find them on the wiki as well. When you speak to Defrona, use your Soulstones to gain health recovery rather than Lacrima gain, since there are no real easy ways to upgrade health recovery in the game besides this, and you can always farm more Lacrima if you need it. This improves your healing from Netherworld energy and other sources that heal you, like the aforementioned Soul Tear Dust and Soul Tear Stone Shards. One fantastic thing about the First Berserker Khazan is that you can teleport from the Crevice to any Blade Nexus you've unlocked in any mission. This allows you to leave a mission before a boss and buy things or improve your gear and come back and try again, or head back to the Crevice mid-mission if you want to tweak your gear, etc., and come back to your most recent Blade Nexus. In piggybacking off this last point, since you can teleport to any Blade Nexus you've been to, This allows you to farm bosses over and over again by teleporting to their blade nexus and engaging them in combat once again. The reason you will need to do this is that there are specific crafted sets in Khazan that require materials from specific bosses in order to craft. These are not guaranteed drops, so you'll have to defeat them many times if you want a full set, especially for some of the sets that have up to 8 pieces. These are the best sets in Khazan, so it's definitely worth doing and can help make your progress easier moving forward if you have a wicked set bonus. Danjin also sells boss set materials if you need some extra ones, so be sure to check him periodically as well. NPCs will have new dialogue or maybe even unlock bonus missions every time you finish a main mission, so check up on them after every mission, because bonus missions reward you with Soulstones, Jarlings, and other loot, and they can help you in your journey. And not to mention that there are variations of boss fights that are fun that you'll miss out on if you don't do this, and there's extra dialogue from NPCs, so the side quests or the bonus missions are a big part of the game you don't want to miss out on. This next tip you'll probably have figured out at this point, but you can craft at the Blacksmith, but you'll need materials in order to make set pieces. You can craft materials from other materials at the Blacksmith to get ones you need by going to the craft tab and going all the way over to the right, which is not very obvious. And this will let you get the things you need to craft the sets that you want. And also don't forget that you can dismantle gear here for crafting materials, so if you have extra gear, consider dismantling it in order to be able to craft the sets you want. There are around 50 sets in the First Berserker Khazan, and each one has different effects. Many are just armor sets, but some include weapons as well, like a greatsword or spear. Acquiring these sets is pretty straightforward, but understanding what they do and if they're the right set for you is not always as easy. Be on the lookout for sets that match your preferred weapon type, and find the ones that best suit your playstyle. Some give bonuses to specific skills, which are shown in brackets, and if you're using those skills, this can benefit you a lot. However, if you don't use those skills, then these would not be good for you. Make sure to check your skill trees periodically to familiarize yourself with these skills so you understand what is being boosted by your sets. Additionally, many sets let you learn a new skill if you have enough pieces that will show up on your skill tree for that weapon type. You can't see what these skills do without having the full set equipped, but we do have them all shown on the wiki, so if you want to look there and decide if they're worth farming or not before you spend the effort, you are free to do so. After you've acquired an entire set, you will likely outlevel it eventually and will need to upgrade it in order to increase its level. This provides more damage for weapons and more defense for armor. Prioritize weapons first and then improve armor afterwards, and note that light and medium armor doesn't improve in defense much per level compared to heavy armor. You can do this at Oksana in the Crevice by sacrificing unused weapons and armor. Just make sure you don't sacrifice something that you plan on using later. Note that once you get far enough into the game that you can craft epic versions of weapons, some will have a fixed attribute that will be a new skill in its own right. We also have these on the wiki if you'd like to see them, or you can check out our YouTube video as well to see if they're worth crafting or not. And the last tip is that there's something called agility in the First Berserker Khazan that impacts stamina recovery and dodge cost. The higher your equip weight percentage, the lower your agility will be, reducing your stamina recovery and increasing your dodge cost. These rank from A to D, so A being the best, having the highest stamina recovery and lowest dodge cost, D being the worst, having the worst stamina recovery and increased dodge cost. The trade-off is that heavier armor that's going to increase your equip weight provides better defense, and it also reduces the stamina damage you take when getting hit. So if you want to take less damage when you're getting hit, you're going to be wearing heavy armor, and that's going to reduce your agility. It's important to note, though, that strength and vitality both reduce your total weight percentage, allowing you to have better agility and heavier armor. Greatswords actually scale the best with the strength stat, so players utilizing greatswords should have good mobility even when they're wearing some of the heaviest armor in the game. Dual blades benefit from strength, and it also increases their damage, but not as much as greatswords, so dual blades players will probably opt for medium armor to keep their mobility high and have a good balance between mobility and protection. Spears, on the other hand, don't benefit from strength at all. It doesn't improve the damage of spears, so they'll probably have to wear light armor in order to keep their agility high. The breakpoints for agility are as follows. Below 60% is A, below 75% is B, below 100% is C, and then finally D is above 100%. You want to try and stay in the A and B range if you can. C and D are really bad. So that wraps up my 10 tips for the First Berserker Khazan. I hope you found these things useful. A lot of these things you'll figure out in your journey over time, but If you knew them at the beginning of the game, it could save you a lot of time, which is why I mentioned them here. As always, if there are other tips for new players, things I forgot to mention if you're playing the game, you can leave them there as well. And if you have questions about mechanics, maybe something doesn't make sense to you, you can leave them in the comments, and I will try and answer your questions as soon as I can.